If your penis no longer gets hard the way it used to, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. The truth is, what you've been told about aging and sexual decline is incomplete. There's a hidden reason why so many older men quietly lose their confidence, their performance, and their sense of identity. And it has nothing to do with how old you are. I'm Dr. Rena, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping men over 60 reignite their sexual vitality, naturally, safely, and without pills. I've worked with thousands of men across the country who once felt invisible, ashamed, and deeply frustrated. What they discovered changed everything. And today, I want to share it with you. Because here's the paradox. What if the key to getting rock hard again wasn't in a pill or hormone shot, but in a part of your body you've likely ignored for decades? And what if you could access it with nothing but your own hands? In this video, I'll guide you step by step through a deeply restorative massage designed specifically to restore blood flow, awaken nerve sensitivity, and reconnect you to the man you still are and always have been. Stick with me, because in just a moment, you'll learn exactly how this powerful massage works and how one simple habit can reignite your confidence overnight. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss powerful science-based tips designed to help men over 60 feel strong, confident, and fully alive again. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. I read every response and use your feedback to make these videos better for you. Let's begin by talking about something most men over 60 experience, but almost no one talks about openly: the quiet, gradual loss of erection strength. It doesn't happen overnight. One day, you just notice things aren't working quite the same. And while many blame age or hormones, the real cause often lies deeper, hidden in the muscles and tissues that surround your pelvis. Muscles that, when ignored, silently cut off the blood flow your body depends on to stay firm, feel pleasure, and stay confident. So let's break this down clearly, because once you understand what's really happening, you'll finally know how to fix it. 1. Why so many older men lose erection strength and don't know why. I've had men sit in my office, shoulders slumped, eyes full of quiet frustration, and they'll say, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore." And it breaks my heart every time, because they believe it's just old age, that this is how things are supposed to go. But that's not the whole story. In fact, most of what we've been told about sexual decline after 60 is outdated and incomplete. What's really happening inside your body is simpler and more hopeful than you think. Over the years, your pelvic floor muscles, the ones deep inside your lower core, start to tighten and weaken. Not because you did something wrong, but because most men were never taught to care for this part of their body. We sit too much, we hold tension from stress, and we lose awareness of the very muscles that are responsible for blood flow, control, and sensation. And without healthy circulation, you simply can't maintain an erection the way you used to. It's not about desire or masculinity, it's biology. This is what I call silent tension. You don't feel it the way you'd feel a sore back or stiff knee, but it's there, quietly compressing blood vessels, limiting nerve response, and slowly draining your confidence. The good news is, once you learn how to release that tension and bring blood back to where it matters, change happens fast, not weeks, sometimes days. I've seen this happen with men in their 70s who thought they were done. One man told me, "After a week of doing your routine, I woke up feeling like I was 20 again." That's the power of understanding your body and finally giving it what it needs. And that brings us to the heart of it, the massage technique that doesn't just treat the symptoms, but actually reactivates the very pathways your body needs to become fully alive again. If you're ready to learn how to do this step by step, stay with me, because what I'm about to show you could change everything. 2. How this massage restores blood flow, function, and feeling. When I first introduced this massage to my older male patients, many of them look at me with a mix of skepticism and quiet hope. Some even laugh a little until they try it. Then the disbelief turns into something else entirely: relief, surprise, even pride. Because for many of these men, it's the first time in years they've felt something changing, something waking back up. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Your penis doesn't exist in isolation. It depends entirely on the health of the muscles, blood vessels, and nerves around it. And when those areas have gone stiff, tight, or numb with age and disuse, it takes more than a pill to get things working again. That's where this massage comes in. This isn't just rubbing or mindless touch, it's targeted, it's intentional, and it's rooted in real science. With just your hands and a little bit of focused attention, you can restore blood flow to the deepest layers of your pelvic region, right where your body has been crying out for circulation and care. You don't need fancy oils or devices. You need breath, patience, and presence. I've walked countless men through the exact steps. How to use slow, rhythmic pressure along the lower abdomen, how to activate the muscles around the base of the penis, and how to unlock tension in the space between the genitals and the anus. And when you do it right, you'll feel something shift, first as a sensation of warmth or tingling, then as a growing sense of control and power. It's more than physical. I had a patient once tell me it felt like I was reclaiming a part of myself I thought was gone forever. That's not just blood returning, that's dignity returning, confidence, vitality. But we're only getting started, because once you learn how to awaken the body, the next step is learning how this kind of touch impacts your emotions, your self-image, and even your relationships. And that, my friend, is where the real transformation begins. Stay with me, you'll want to hear this. 3. The emotional power of touch, reclaiming confidence and worth. I wish more men understood this simple truth. Your body isn't just a machine, it's a messenger. And for many men I've treated, it wasn't the lack of erections that hurt the most, it was what that meant to them. The feeling that they weren't desirable anymore, that they weren't strong, that somehow their worth as men had quietly slipped away with time. You see, this massage isn't only about blood flow and physical function. It's about something deeper. It's about connection. When you take the time to slow down and touch your body with intention, you're doing something powerful. You're telling yourself that you still matter, that your body is still worth attention, care, and respect, and that message can be life-changing. I remember one man in his early 70s, quiet, reserved, a widower. After a few weeks of doing the massage I taught him, he came back to my office and told me, I didn't just feel better physically, I felt human again. There was emotion in his voice, because this practice reminded him of who he was. Not just a man trying to fix a problem, but a man rediscovering his value. That's the emotional power of touch. It can rebuild the broken relationship you may have with your own body. It helps strip away the shame, the silence, the years of feeling invisible. And the confidence it brings doesn't just stay in the bedroom, it follows you into how you carry yourself, how you talk to others, how you live. And this confidence, it's contagious. It shows in your eyes, your posture, your presence. But perhaps most importantly, it can reignite the connection between you and someone you love. So let's keep going, because in the next part, you'll see how this massage doesn't just heal you. It can transform your relationship in ways you might not expect. 4. Real stories from real men. There's something incredibly powerful about hearing from someone who's been where you are. Someone who knows what it feels like to lie awake at night, wondering if you'll ever feel like yourself again. I've had the privilege of working with men from all walks of life. Veterans, retired teachers, lifelong laborers. And what they've shared with me over the years has stayed with me. One of the stories that always comes to mind is Paul. He was 68, a former firefighter, tough as nails on the outside, but quietly hurting inside. He came to me not because of pain, but because of loss. Not just loss of performance, but loss of pride. His words were simple, I feel like I've disappeared. We started the massage routine I'm teaching you now, just a few minutes each morning. 3 weeks in, he left me a voicemail. His voice was shaking. He said, Doc, I had a full erection this morning, and I cried. Not from frustration, but from hope, from feeling alive again. Then there was Michael, 73. He had lost his wife years ago and hadn't felt desire or much of anything for a long time. He told me he didn't expect anything to change, but after a month of gentle, consistent practice, he started to feel something stirring, not just in his body, but in his spirit. He told me, I didn't realize how numb I had become until I began waking up again. These are real men, and what they found wasn't just better function, it was renewal. Proof that age doesn't have to mean the end of intimacy, strength, or joy. it's not too late, not by a long shot. And if these stories moved you even a little, then what comes next may surprise you even more, because now it's time to turn this into a daily habit, one that fits easily into your life and builds your strength with every passing day. Let me show you how. 5. How to make this a daily habit and why it matters. One of the biggest mistakes I see men make, especially men over 60, is waiting until something's broken before they start paying attention. But this massage isn't about fixing you. It's about reconnecting with yourself, building a routine that brings life back to your body, one quiet moment at a time. The men who see the most benefit from this aren't necessarily the strongest or most experienced. They're the most consistent. They show up every day, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. They treat the massage not as a chore or a performance, but as a gift. A few sacred minutes each morning or night where they give their bodies what they were never taught to give before: attention, care, and respect. I often tell my patients, treat this time the way you treat your morning coffee or brushing your teeth. You don't skip it, you don't rush it, you make space for it because it matters. You don't need candles or music, just privacy, a comfortable space, and a willingness to breathe through the process. Some men like to do it before bed to help relax, while others find the morning gives them more energy and presence throughout the day. There's no wrong time, only the time you're willing to claim for yourself. I remember one man told me, it started as a routine, but it became a ritual. I look forward to it now. It's the one time I feel like I'm truly taking care of myself. And that's the shift that makes all the difference. Because once something becomes part of your rhythm, it stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like freedom. And the longer you do it, the more your body begins to respond. Stronger, steadier, and more alive. But as powerful as that is, what you're about to hear next may surprise you even more. Because this massage doesn't just improve how your body works. It can actually improve how your entire body feels, heals, and functions in ways far beyond the bedroom. Let's explore that next. 6. Beyond erections, other surprising benefits. When most men first come to me, all they want is to get their erections back. And I understand that. It's deeply personal. It's tied to how we see ourselves, how we connect with others, how we feel as men. But what many of them discover, often unexpectedly, is that this massage begins to change so much more than what happens in the bedroom. I've seen men who used to struggle with restless sleep tell me they're finally sleeping through the night. Others who lived with that dull ache in their lower back or hips start to move more freely. Some even find they're going to the bathroom less frequently in the middle of the night, something they didn't think was connected but actually makes perfect sense. You see, when you improve blood flow and release deep tension in the pelvic region, everything from bladder control to prostate comfort improves too. There's also something incredibly calming about this practice. I've had men tell me their anxiety levels have gone down, their moods have become more stable, and they're just more present. And that makes sense because when you take time to breathe, touch, and listen to your body, especially in an area we're taught to ignore, you're tapping into the part of your nervous system that's built for healing. And maybe one of the most beautiful changes I've witnessed is how men begin to carry themselves. There's a new posture, a different energy. They look people in the eye again. They feel visible, valuable, fully here. So yes, this massage may begin with a physical goal, but the ripple effects go far beyond that. And now that you understand the depth of what it can do, there's just one more thing I want to leave you with. It's not a technique or a tip, it's a truth. One that every man needs to hear, especially if you've ever doubted your worth. Let's talk about that next. 7. Your body is not broken. It's waiting. There's something I need to say to you plainly, man to man, something I wish more doctors, more sons, more friends would say out loud. Your body is not broken. I don't care if you haven't had a firm erection in years, or if you've started to feel like your best days are behind you. That is not the truth. That's a story you've been told by a world that doesn't understand how men change with time. The truth is, your body is still capable, still alive, still waiting. It may have been neglected, misunderstood, or even mistreated, but it has not given up on you. It's still listening, and the moment you start giving it the care and attention it deserves, everything begins to shift. I've had men break down in tears during our sessions, not because they were in pain, but because for the first time in decades, They felt something return, a sense of presence, of power, of being whole again. They weren't chasing youth. They were embracing something better: wisdom, patience, and connection. This massage isn't magic. It's not a miracle. It's a message. A way of telling yourself every single day, I still matter. My pleasure still matters. My confidence still matters. And when that message sinks in, into your muscles, your heart, your spirit, something beautiful begins to happen. So, before we close, I want to leave you with something personal. A final thought, a parting truth that might just stay with you long after this video ends. Because if you've come this far, it means you're ready to hear what so many men have gone their whole lives without ever being told. Let's finish this together. 8. Final words. From Dr. Rena, your body is not done. If you've stayed with me through this journey, I want to take a quiet moment to speak to you, not as a doctor, but as someone who's sat with hundreds of men just like you. Men who have carried silent shame, private doubts, and years of disconnection. I've seen the weight that builds when you feel like your body has betrayed you. I've also seen the strength it takes to show up anyway, to ask questions, to try again, to believe in something more. So if that's you today, I want you to know this. I see you, and you're not done. We've talked about a lot. You've learned why so many men lose erection strength. Not because they're weak, but because years of tension, disuse, and silence have slowly shut things down. You've seen how the right kind of massage, slow, deliberate, and grounded in science, can bring back blood flow, sensitivity, and confidence. Not just in theory, but in real life. You've heard stories from men who found themselves again, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. You've discovered that this practice is more than a technique. It's a daily act of respect, of showing up for your body, even when the world says you should fade quietly into the background. And most importantly, you've been reminded that aging doesn't mean disappearing, that your worth doesn't vanish just because your body moves differently. Your power isn't in the past, it's in your presence, in your decision to care, to reconnect, to believe in yourself again. I've worked in men's health for over 30 years, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. The men who thrive in their 60s, 70s, and beyond are the ones who don't wait for permission to live fully. They don't see intimacy as a luxury. They see it as part of their health, part of their humanity. They aren't trying to be 20 again. They're learning how to feel alive at the age they are, and you can too. You may have started this video just hoping to feel something again, to get back what you thought was lost. But maybe now you realize this is about more than just erections. It's about reclaiming your connection to your own body. It's about giving yourself permission to be whole again, strong, steady, and present. So here's what I invite you to do. Start small. Take 10 minutes tonight or tomorrow morning. Breathe, slow down, follow the massage steps. Let your hands remind your body that it's still here and still capable of so much more than you think. And if something shifts, no matter how small, celebrate it. That warmth you feel, that tingle, that breath that suddenly feels deeper than before, that's life coming back online. That's you coming back online. I'll be here to guide you every step of the way. So if this video resonated with you, share it with another man who needs it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you're feeling, what questions you have, or what part of this spoke to you most. I read every message. And most of all, don't give up on yourself. Not now, not ever. You're not too old, you're not invisible, and you're certainly not done.